Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Erschen. This week we are doing another movie review. Figure while it's still fresh on my mind, I just saw it on Netflix last night, and that is Bird Box. Came out this year, 2018, made for a Netflix movie starring Sandra Bullock and also John Malkovich, and just a great cast. Sarah Paulson from American Horror Story fame is in it. A lot of people are probably going to compare this to A Quiet Place, because there are a couple similarities, like in A Quiet Place you had to be quiet to stay alive, and in this film you got to wear a blindfold. You can't look or you're going to be in trouble. So there's that similarity. There's also the similarity that at the beginning of the film, Sandra Bullock's character is pregnant, like Emily Blunt's character in A Quiet Place. But other than that, really, that's pretty much where the similarities end. I do believe this film stands very well on its own. I think it's an excellent film. And I think it's one of the best horror films of 2018. It's funny that it came out right at the very end of the year, but I think the cinematography is absolutely fantastic. I mean, this feels like a huge movie. Like, this could have easily been released in theaters, and I think it would have been a big hit, because it feels epic, because the cinematography is on such a grand scale. It's just beautiful to look at. Especially the scenes when you see Sandra Bullock in the boat out on the lake. And that's kind of where the film begins. You'll see that the film kind of jumps from the present to flashbacks. The film begins, she's in a lake on a boat with the children, kind of yelling at them, telling, you need to do what I say, everything I tell you to do in order to survive, and don't ever take your blindfold off. She's got the kids blindfolded. Yeah. And then we flash back to, she's with her sister, played by Sarah Paulson, and Sarah Paulson's telling about, I saw this crazy stuff on the news in Russia where there's all kinds of chaos going on, mass suicides everywhere. People are just killing themselves, throwing themselves in front of trucks and smashing into each other in the street. And she's like, well, that's in Russia. And of course, things start happening in the U.S. We see Sandra Bullock going to her OBGYN to see how the baby's doing. And when she gets out of her appointment, she sees this one lady bashing her head against the freaking the window. And you see, she just keeps doing it, bam, bam, over and over. And they're like, damn, this lady's crazy. And then when she goes out to her car into the street, they're like, we need to get the hell out of here. And then they find out that everything is happening in the United States now. Cars smashing into each other. Everyone's losing their minds. Throwing themselves in front of trucks, getting run over, committing mass suicide, And we see their eyes get real weird. They turn like, almost like into a trance, and then their eyes turn like green and stuff. It's weird. And then once that happens, they're screwed, So they try and take cover because, she's sitting there pregnant with child and you see Sarah Paulson and Sandra Bullock in the car together, and they get rammed, and their car turns over and flips over, and Sarah Paulson, becomes a victim of the chaos as well. And then Sandra Bullock bangs on this neighbor's door, like, please, I need help, help me. And the mother is kind enough to let her in, and there we meet John Malkovich character, and they got a bunch of other survivors of all this craziness barricading themselves up in the house. And we see the majority of the film takes place in that house, and they're all trying to survive. They do venture out, but they find out that you cannot look because there's these like creatures that apparently are affecting the humans, and if a human looks into the creature's eyes, it affects them, and then it becomes like a chain reaction. Once that person looks at that person, they become affected, and And they start saying all kinds of crazy stuff like, you need to look, take your blindfolds off, look, it's beautiful. And then they end up killing themselves. So, oh yeah, it's real beautiful, and you have to kill yourself to look at it, you know. And I like the mystery of that too, because there's some kind of creatures that, you know, we never really find out all the answers, and I like that about this film. You don't really get all the answers that you're looking for, and it leaves a little bit to the imagination, and I really enjoy that. You don't need to be shown everything. You don't need everything thrown in your face, but believe you me, there's plenty of action in this movie. There's plenty of chaos and craziness, and it's very scary at times too, you know. All the chaos, and it made me think, like, man, can you imagine if this happened in real life? I'd be freaking terrified. I wouldn't know what to do. It's just complete madness at times. But yeah, it does leave a lot to the imagination. Like I said, the cinematography is absolutely beautiful and brilliant. And you get fantastic performances by the entire cast, especially Sandra Bullock. I think she's just great in this film. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. It's probably the best Netflix movie that I've ever seen. The best made-for-Netflix movie, I would say. The best Netflix original movie. Yeah, I give it 2 devil horns up. So guys, definitely check out Bird Box on Netflix. 2018 film. I think it's one of the best Netflix films ever, and one of the best horror films of 2018. So check it out. And thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Erschen, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared.